morning, my dear students. Welcome you all back to our social class. We are dealing with the economics chapter, last chapter of our portion, that is consumer rights. So, in previous class, we saw what is a consumer, who are called as consumers, and I have given you example like teenagers are being considered as the most important consumer. Then I told you about the history of the Consumer Bill of Right and the World Consumer Rights Day, which is celebrated on 15th of March. Then we saw the consumers are exploited and what are the ways they are being exploited other than your book content. Then we saw that consumer movement has been arised out of dissatisfaction of the consumers because of the unfair and adulterated products, and there is no legal system for them to protect. So because of these reasons, we saw the consumer movement has arisen. Then we also saw that why do we need the consumer movement, and we also saw that the consumer movement that has arisen in India from 1960 onwards, and it has been made into an act of Consumer Protection Act of 1968, which is shortly known as COPRA. And we saw about the right RTE, right under the act that flows, that is the Right to Information Act. So it is along with the Consumer Protection Act. That detail I'll explain you in the next video. Now we get into today's important days. Like if you see, when we study the consumer right chapter, we are supposed to know these things, which is very important. That is, National Consumer Rights Day was observed across India on 24th December 2013 onwards. The practice is there. So every year 24th December is being considered as the Consumer Protection Act Day, which has been implemented with the COPRA Act of 1968, which was established in the year of 1968. So the National Consumer Right Day is celebrated on 24th December. So this is one very important one mark question they may ask, my dear students. So it is 24th December. And it started from 2013 onwards. Then if you see, we can see that the World Consumer Right Day is also existing. So every year 15th March has been observed as the Consumer Right Day. So when it is on 15th of March. It is being considered as the Consumers World Right Day, or World Consumers Rights Day. So it has been we have seen in the history of the consumer right, like where we have the Frederick, that is the US President John F. Kennedy formed the Consumer Rights Protection Movement, and along with that the World Consumer Right was also brought into practice, and annually it is celebrated as an occasion for the peoples, for the consumers at the international level movement. So participants observe the day by promoting the basic right to all the consumers, demanding that those rights are about to be for the consumers. So this is the two important thing which I wanted you to know. So next thing if you see is that the Consumer Bill or Right. So what is this bill? And what is this right? If you see, consumer right and consumer bill are not much difference, but consumer bill of right is for the law which has to be implemented, act which has to be implemented for the consumer. So if you see, we have these consumers. As a consumer, they have certain rights and they have certain responsibility. We'll see in detail the rights and responsibility. The first thing, if you see, the safety. Safety is the first right of the consumer. At the same time, when they are safety, they should use the production in a safely manner. Like they should be safety by seeing the products whatever available, check the product whether it is good product or those things and buy. And be informed. Be informed means like they are supposed to know what are all the information that are required for a particular product. For example, we have lot of hair dye products are available, right? So it should give them the ingredients added and the chemicals added, whether it is having the ammonia or whether it will harm the person when he is using it. If he has allergy, what he should do. So that is the usage. The code of usage should be given. Okay, and the use of information should be done properly by the consumer. The consumer should utilize the information that are provided and he should make use of it by reading it. And third right, if you see, is the choice. Choice is where the people are being given right to select their own products, and the same time the consumer should be responsible while choosing. He should be very careful while he is selecting the products, because the decision makers to buy the product is the consumer, as we saw already, right? So decision makers is the consumer. So while he is buying, he should be very careful in buying the products. So he should look into the details whatever he needs to, and he has to know whether the product is being available in a good quality or not, the brand is good or not. Those things he has to check. Then be heard. So he should be heard about whatever is available, and he should be a person to express the satisfaction and dissatisfaction. He should hear by hearing the advertisement or by hearing the advertisement through radios or television. He should be knowing that his rights. Then he should be the person who should express. If he is not satisfied with one product, he should be expressing that he is not satisfied. He is being satisfied. That is why if you buy products on online, they will give a rating state, right, where you are supposed to give stars for the product. So if you are satisfied, you can give 5 stars, and if you are not satisfied, you may give 1 or 2. That is based on your wish. So this is also there. Then redressal. So redressal means compensation or an penalty which has to be paid. So if he is being affected by any means or is being exploited by the consumer, then he has the right to have redressal. Seek for the redressal. Seek for redressal means to get penalty. Consumer education. Yes, consumer is not, as I told you already, it is not like that. The consumer should be educated. He should be like knowledged person, or he should be an well-versed person in higher educations, or not like that. He should be aware of the product that are available, and he should be knowing the do's and don'ts of the products. Only then he can be said as the being an educated consumer. Okay, then a healthy environment. So there should be a healthy environment which should be provided for the consumers. Only then they will be contributing towards the buying of products. A contribution to the health environment can be done when the consumer is provided with the healthy environment. So if he is being provided with good products, good facilities and all the other aspects, you can find that the consumer will be ready to buy the products continuously. Otherwise, when it is defected or when it is affecting the health of the consumer, he will not be able to buy the product. So that is what is about the consumer right and responsibility. Then we saw the rights previously, like there are 6 rights which are prevailing for the consumer rights. So these are the basic rights. So right to choose, right to be safety, right to be informed, right to be heard, right to be consumer educated, right to be healthy, right to be in healthy environment. So he should have good environment, as we saw previously. Now we'll go into the first thing, that is the right to choose. If you have your book, please take your book and sit down, my dear students. You can see Right to choose. The consumer has the right to choose for variety or various products at competitive price with an assurance of satisfactory. Okay, so when the person, if you are going or any person in your family is going to buy a product, he should have variety of products which are available and various product at an competitive price. Competitive price means it be equal in prices also, quality wise also it should be equalizing, and it should make the buyer satisfactory. According to this rights, consumer has the right to get information about the quality, quantity, purity and standard and price of the goods and services, as a protected himself against the abusive and unfair practices. So for that purpose, the consumer who is going to buy a product, he has the right to see whether the product is quality oriented or qualitative oriented, or whether it is purity oriented, or it has a good standard and price of the products. So you can see all these things in order to avoid the consumer from getting adulterated or getting into an unfair practices. Okay, so by this way you can save the consumer. If you see, this is a picture which is being given, like in that it says, I want to choose an appointment time with its convention. I want an hospital appointment quickly. I want an hospital with a good access to the public transport. So next thing, if you see, I want an hospital that close to my family. So next thing, if you see, I want an hospital with good parking facility. So these are the things which they are demanding for. Okay, so like it is the choice of the person. If they are looking for an hospital, they have different choice. They can go and look into like whatever has been their preference. They may prefer like first thing as we saw, it is like convincing it should be, and the next thing is he want to go quickly, and if you see next thing is he want to have a good access to the public facility, then she want it to be very close to her own family, and he also wants like want to be an good parking area which should be available. So these things they will be preferring. Okay, so the next thing is that the seller should not force, seller should not deviate the buyer from getting one product from the other. That is what is happening in this picture. You can see he's saying, ma'am, you can buy this anyone. So what she says, I want to buy micro oven of a good quality. No, no, give me that one which is ISI mark. So whenever you go for the buying of products, you should be very confident enough that you are going to buy only the quality products like which has been approved by our own government. Okay, so that is how it can help you to have a good choice of products. Okay, if you see here, similarly here also, a sweet that has been bought by the men, but after buying it he feels that it is not the same weight. I think it's not 1 kg. So when you buy a sweet, we can not stick to one company, but it is that the shopkeeper's duty to tell us the production of all and the productions, and well watch all of them like an Oxford, like Bond, like they wanted to look them into it. Like even if you have vendors means vegetable sellers who comes near your house and sell us, no, even to them you should be very particular. Like when they are selling, they should be giving you the good quality and the weight should be equal. So that is another way that you can choose. So next thing is right to safety. Before getting into right to safety, just have your book. You can find in your book page number 81, we have an case study. It is about Abhirami. Abhirami is studying of an Anarshi Nagaraj joined as a second year course, which is location in the coaching university for the professional courses in Delhi. So she has joined in an Delhi for a course. At that time when she was joining, she has paid around 61,020 rupees as an lump sum for the entire course of 2 years. Okay, so however, she is deciding to opt means she want to change. So she want to change to another course or another area, and at the end of 1 year, as she found that quality of teaching was not good and not fine, when she asked to refund the fee about 1 year, it was denied. So do you feel that this is correct way or not? It is not the correct way, it is wrong. Okay. So it is the right of the consumer. When she is being filing case in the district consumer court, even in your places, if you opt for a course and you find it not good, you want to change it, you want to go to some other places, it is the right of the consumer who can opt and ask the institution to refund the money. Okay, so when it is not refunded to her, she is going to a district court and she is filing a case. So court has been directing her to institute to an refund rupees 28,000, saying that she had the right to choose. Okay, so the government has, even the court has been supporting the Amrita only, but she has to go for another education where she don't want to continue here, so the second year fees can be refunded. So the institution again appeals to the state consumer commission. Even there you can find that it was upheld that the district court directed and further fined that institution for rupees 25,000 for the revolving appeals. So again he has applied, again the institution has applied in the state court. Okay, so for that penalty it has asked the institution to pay 25,000. It was directed the institution to pay rupees 7,000 as a compensation, and taking her, like irritating her, like making her to continuously come for the court. So state commission also says that all the people who are under education institution or professional institution in the state can charge fees for the student for the entire duration of course in advance and to 1 year. It is not for the whole year. Any violence that happens, it can be taken to the court, and initiative of penalties and imprisonment can also happen. So this is what is the case study which is there in your book. So just go through the case study, and if you have any doubt you can contact me. So first you learn what is right to choose and how the right to choose is being denied. Okay, so understand this right to choose. Okay, my dear students, homework I will send you. Thank you, my dear students.